There's been a lot of discussion recently on our alumni forum about water procurement and disinfection. Prompted me to make this video, talk about just a few points, some things I carry and why. And the first thing you need to think about is whenever you're dealing with an issue, you need to figure out your threats before you figure out your tactics. I went ahead and made this chart, and we can make this available to you. You can screenshot it now if you want. We'll post it on our story. But all the primary waterborne threats right here, which would be bacteria, giardia, cryptosporidium, those two are your protozoas, viruses, heavy metals, and chemicals, and then all your primary methods, what most people use for water disinfection. You can read those and take a look as appropriate. When you start looking at these are going to drive what you carry, and you got to know your threats. So boiling is the first one most people think of. Boiling will take care of all those living threats. So your bacteria, your protozoa, and your viruses. Backcountry, awesome way to do it. Uses less resources. This is why I need a water container anyway. You will pretty much never find me without a single wall stainless steel or titanium bottle with a nesting cup. If you have the option, always have a nesting cup. You're going to see why in a second. I prefer a 32-ounce bottle. The only manufacturer I know of right now that does a 32 ounce is from Pathfinder. 32 ounces because most chemical disinfection methods, i.e. chlorine dioxide, which I also carry, treat a 32-ounce amount of water. You start to get a 40 ounce like the clean canteens. You're going to need to add a little more. Just makes things a little bit more difficult. So again, stainless single wall bottle, single wall only, a double wall will blow up in a fire. With a nesting cup, pretty much always going to carry this guy for boiling. Another one you're pretty much never going to find me without is the Sawyer Mini, and we've talked about this on the podcast. I have here also the Sawyer Squeeze. These are the exact same thing, just slightly different size. The Sawyer Mini is about $20. It will cover all of your protozoa, bacteria, not viruses, heavy metals, or chemicals. So think backcountry right here. So if all you have to deal with is bacteria and animal waste, things like that, no human waste, i.e. viruses, this is your go-to. Filters down to 0.1 microns. Basically, you just attach a bag to this guy, you let the water gravity drip through, you squeeze it through, and you should be good to go. So with that, you've got bags. The bag that comes with this thing is garbage, so don't use it. I prefer the CNOC bag, and the reason I prefer this is obviously we can screw this guy on, just like this, just like any of your platypus or the bag that comes with. However, the CNOC bag, I can go ahead and open up the entire end of this guy, just like this. You see where this is a player, it's a real pain to fill it through this little nozzle right here. This is where maybe a nesting cup can come into play if you only have a bag with a tiny little nozzle. However, this guy, the entire end opens up. You can fill the whole bag, squeeze your dirty water through, and be good to go. You can also, with this Sawyer Mini, attach some surgical tubing, and this is a desert trick I learned years ago. A lot of times you're going to find water down in cracks and crevices of rocks you can't reach with your hands. You can drop this tubing down, hooking it to this, and suck it right through here just like a life straw. However, this is far superior to a life straw. And then this can make you reach some of those hard-to-reach water sources. So again, bacteria and the protozoa. Now, if you have just this Sawyer Mini and you have an issue with, say, viruses, i.e. human waste, we're looking at chlorine dioxide. Look at the chart, you'll see why I don't like iodine. Chlorine dioxide is now, it's got limited effectiveness against cryptosporidium. However, this will kill viruses. So heavy metals, chemicals, not going to work, but all your living things, the combination of the Sawyer Mini and your chlorine dioxide tabs, you're good to go. Now come to the what I believe is the most effective, personal, and portable water disinfection method out there is the Grail bottle. The Grail bottle is a filter down to 0.1 micron. It also uses electroabsorption to knock out those viruses, and then it has an activated carbon filter, so it knocks out a lot of heavy metals and chemicals, not all, but a lot, similar to, say, a chemical suit that the military would use for chemical warfare. The Grail bottle, this is the smaller, this is the bigger version, and again, nesting cups available, so I have one. This will get you to 16.9 ounces internal, and this to 24 ounces internal. The weight and size difference are pretty significant on these guys. This is generally the one I carry. This one will take you to about 40 gallons before you replace the filter element. It is a little more expensive, but I do believe it is worth the size and weight. One last thing you'll find me carrying is a dry bag, and this is pretty new. I usually do a heavier weight one. This is a lightweight Sea to Summit I'm trying out right now. And the reason I carry a dry bag is if I'm in a hurry or I want to grab more water, I can just dip this guy. Yes, it keeps things dry for me, but it's also waterproof from the inside. So I can dip this into a water source like the one behind me. I can use it as a bucket, seal it up, flip it over my shoulder, and then I can move on, and I've got an additional couple gallons of dirty water that I can disinfect later. And this is pretty small to get in my kit in case I need to grab water for later. In the desert, that's a big deal. Grab water when you can get it, get as much as you can. So again, to recap it, my primaries here, I'm going to have a Sawyer Mini, I'm going to have chlorine dioxide, and a Grail bottle, and those are my primaries, as well as something to be able to boil in, this single wall stainless, and my dry bag. Now, one last thing for urban environments for water procurement, about $6 on Amazon. This is called the Silcock Key. I think I've done a video previous on this. This is how you get water out of industrial buildings and industrial spouts in the city, so also a good thing to have. Long video. If you bared with me through the whole thing, thank you for that. Hit us up in the comments if you have any questions, and we can send you more information. And again, we will make this chart with all the effectiveness available to you if you want it.